Hey, it's Ethan, D, and Jack here. We're going to be talking about war crimes of the past and possibly present and just giving you the basic information and our opinions on them, so let's get started.
Hi, my name is Dean Kavanaugh, and I'm going to be doing World War I poison gases. Imagine if you heard a loud, thunderous planes roaring above. You open your door to the surprise of a sea of green smoke. Your vision goes blurry, your throat swells up. You fall to the ground, and it's all black. This is what it would be like to be attacked with chemical gases. During World War I, a range of different chemicals were used as weapons throughout the conflict, and two of the most devastating ones were tear gas and chlorine gas. The French were actually the first to utilize poison gas in conflict. When they attempted to use tear gas against the German army in August 1914, the precise agent used to be uncertain, with both XYL bromide and ethylene percassiate, both mentioned. Both are colorless liquids, with the former having an odor described as pleasant and aromatic, and the later being described as fruity and pungent. These tear gases weren't designed to kill, rather to incapacitate the enemy and render them unable to defend their positions. They are all defenseless agents. That is, they cause crying due to irritation of the eyes. They also irritate the mouth, throat, and lungs, leading to breathing difficulties. Exposure to large concentrations can lead to temporary blindness, but symptoms commonly resolve within 30 minutes of leaving affected areas. In practice, the use of tear gas on the battlefield was extraordinarily effective. However, it opened the door to the use of more harmful gases. The first of these was chlorine. First used on a large scale of German forces, chlorine is a dynamic gas, about 2.5 times denser than air, with a pale green color and a strong, bleach-like odor, which soldiers describe as a mix of pineapple and pepper. It reacts with water in the lungs to form hydrochloric acid, which can quickly lead to death. At lower concentrations, it can cause coughing, vomiting, and irritation to the eyes. Poison gases were a terrible thing during World War I. Hopefully, gases will never be used in wars again.
I'm Ethan. Today I will be talking about the United States' controversial drone policy, which, in my opinion, has veered into war crime territory. Whether or not you think it's a war crime, I'll leave up to you. War of all kinds is a practice involving endless suffering. Oftentimes, humanity is at its worst during war. The idea of anything being off limits when fighting war is an odd concept, but if we want to establish a more humane world, there have to be limits. That said, what qualifies as a war crime has never been easy to pinpoint. While some people would immediately write something off as a war crime, others have no problem with it. This has been true throughout history. Oftentimes, new technology is invented which allows different ways of attacking the enemy. In the heat of war, leaders tend to be less concerned about moral values than during peace. They just want to win. This attitude has caused many atrocities. Even if the method of war is rarely used after the conflict is over, at that point it's too late. The damage is done. As you have heard, one example of this is the use of poison gas by the Germans during World War I. After the war was over, it was declared a war crime, but the dead were still dead. Many would argue that things are complicated during times of war, and wrong and right are not easy to decipher. While this is indeed very true, it does not excuse everything. Some actions taken during war really are wrong, and we have to do our best to make sure they don't happen. But what exactly qualifies as one of these actions? In the Geneva Conventions of 1949, Common Article 3, war crimes were defined as violence to life and person, in particular murder of all kinds, mutilation, cruel treatment, and torture. This was meant to protect anyone not taking active part in the armed conflict. Although not all countries have signed this document, most civilized countries, including the United States, have. In the past decade, the United States has adopted the use of military drones, or unmanned aerial vehicles. An unmanned aerial vehicle is an aircraft without a human pilot aboard. This has become a common method of war, under the reasoning that it would create less collateral damage than the traditional boots-on-the-ground method, which is wildly unpredictable. However, when you look at the statistics, drone strikes seem to kill far more civilians than intended targets. According to The Guardian, in an attempt to kill Pakistani Taliban commander Qori Hussain, the United States ended up killing 127 civilians. In another operation, 24 people were targeted, but a total of 878 people were killed. Another operation, 42 people were targeted, and 1,147 people were killed. A report from the International Human Rights Watch revealed that far more innocent people have been killed by drones than the government has been reporting. A troubling aspect of the drone policy is the double tap method, in which all people who run to aid of the victims of the previous strike are considered targets and are also bombed. An article from Rolling Stone gave a grim account of the effects of drone strikes on a community. Those living in a frequently bombed area are prone to severe and sometimes permanent mental illness. These are just some of the many examples of the recklessness of the United States drone policy. In a 2013 speech, President Barack Obama stated that before a strike is taken, there must be near certainty that no civilians will be killed or injured, the highest standard we can set. However, with so many civilian victims, more and more members of the public are beginning to ask what sort of standards they have set. Many might argue that excessive numbers of civilian casualties are due to unreliable intelligence, and it is not Obama's fault. However, according to The Guardian, there is no clear standard for intelligence regarding drone strikes. It's really just whatever the Obama administration decides it is. According to the New York Times, when a rare opportunity for a drone strike at a top terrorist arises, but his family is with him, it is the president who has reserved himself to the final moral decision. The United States has signed the Geneva Convention, and the well-documented civilian carnage caused by drones appears to be in violation. Some would say that these actions taken by the U.S. are necessary, and the traditional boots-on-the-ground method would have been worse. Others would call these actions war crimes. As the death count rises, this discussion will only get more heated.
Hi, my name is Jack, and I will be talking about World War II war crimes. Eugene was born in Czechoslovakia in 1928. He had a family life with 3 sisters and a brother. His mother came from an Orthodox Jewish family, but his father, who was a master tailor, did not. Religion played little part in Eugene's upbringing. In November 1938, the area where Eugene's family lived was given back to Hungary. On March 1944, German forces occupied Hungary completely. Immediately, all Hungary Jews were ordered to wear the Star of David, and within 10 days, the Jewish population was moved into ghettos. Eugene's house was within a ghetto area, so his family took other people into their home. On May 14th, Eugene was returned home from school. 200 yards from his home, he saw a German military lorry outside the family home with his 2 sisters and family on board. He saw an SS man hit his mother across the face and push her into the lorry. Eugene wasn't allowed into the house. He was forced into the lorry with the rest of the family and other Jewish people from the ghettos. The lorry was driven to a nearby brickyard where the Jewish population was being forcibly gathered together. Eugene and his family were ordered into railway cattle trucks and from there transported to Auschwitz. Eugene was swiftly separated from his mother and sisters, then also from his father. After being completely shaved and then showered, he was given a number, 55546, and a striped uniform. War crimes have been happening for forever. To now, when drones are being flown over prison walls to deliver knives and equipment, to back near World War I, where poison gas was being used. One of the biggest war crimes was in World War II, when Hitler started changing Germany for the worst. This event is called the Holocaust. World War II had many war crimes, but I'm here to talk to you about the Holocaust. The Holocaust was one of the worst things that had ever happened over the course of history. One of the biggest war crimes in the Holocaust was poison gas. After World War I, poison gas became illegal and been banned. In the Holocaust, large-scale gas chambers designed for mass killing were used by Nazi Germany as part of their genocide program. The genocide program started when the Nazis started to get sick and tired of killing people. So Hitler came up with the idea to put people in gas chambers and poison gas, so they died quickly. The Holocaust was Hitler's plan to exterminate everyone that didn't fit his ideal race. Men, women, and children will all go through this, and after they were stripped of their names and everything, they would be assigned a number, as if they were just tools and nothing else. Eugene later found out his whole family had been killed in the Holocaust, except for his older brother. He later found Annie, which he described as his savior. Eugene was tortured and beaten, and this went on for 12 years. During the Holocaust, if war crimes had been enforced more throughout the years, we could have avoided many deaths.